Hey, welcome back. For those who don't know, my name is Amber. I am an author and a freelance editor, and today is going to be a little bit more of a writing update. Hope you can see me. When I tried to play it back, the lighting looked fine, so I'm hoping it's still fine if I sit maybe more forward. I am back in the car, so if you saw my last video, we are having a hell of a time getting care for my husband. We've been to the ER twice now this month, and we know what's going on. We have to find a doctor who will take us because we don't have insurance. We will have insurance beginning January 1st, but obviously we don't want to wait 2 months for him to get care, and obviously so. But we do have an orthopedic surgeon who is going to see us, I think, sometime in November, because that's all the openings that they had. And so we will know more from there. I also have a part-time job I am going to be starting in November just to help alleviate some of the medical bills that we have. So far, as I mentioned, we fell into the charity case for the hospital. So a bill that normally would have been $7,800 or something insane like that, we are getting billed for $149. So absolutely amazing. So grateful for that. But now we're going to dive into the writing stuff. So we already went ahead and looked at the hardcover for these selected poems. This comes out, oh my gosh, in 2 weeks. I actually filmed a video last week, but it was so bad. I was crashing out like every other minute. I just could not do it. And I have a couple videos on the channel that I filmed for the sake of getting something up that week, and I really don't like those videos. So I figured, you know what, we're just gonna skip a week. It's okay. Like, I'm not getting paid from YouTube, so nothing's really gonna hurt me in that regard. I think we hit the 500 subscribers after the last video, so thank you so much for subscribing. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, the like, all the clicky button things. But I have like one more piece to work on. This is done. And then for the cemetery book, which I have not talked about in a hot minute, my mother was so sweet, and she got me a little tarot card coloring book, and it comes with its own little tarot deck. This is actually by Amanda Lovelace, who's a very popular modern poet. And I have not colored anything, but I did just go to the dollar store and get some colored pencils. So really excited for that. Also, I think I talked about this. I am so sorry if I didn't, but the death witches in the cemetery book are actually going to be changed to necromancy witches, because death witches is actually a more modern term. And I say modern like it took off in 2018, and nobody really uses it in the witch community from the research that myself and my mother have done. So we're going to go ahead and go back to necromancy witches. And for those who don't know, necromancy simply means communication or communion with the dead. There is a pathway that kind of branches off that like raises the dead. That's not what true necromancy witchcraft is actually focused on. So those are going to be the witches I have in my book, and I still haven't decided if I want to have two different groups of them, one that is authentic and one that has very much veered off the path, or if I'll just have the ones that have veered off the path and have this other one be your own thing. I'm not really sure yet. The main character is actually not a witch. She has something else going on. But I am finally really getting back in that headspace. The last 6 weeks have been really hard, both with all his medical stuff, with my medication issues we sorted out, and then my editorial clients. I think I worked on, I'm trying to do the math. I want to say I worked on like 10 projects in September. I think I narrowed it down to like 7 or 8 for October. And I still have 2 projects to get done in October, and they're both like around 20,000 or 30,000 words. So really quick and easy. And depending on when I get them done and when Fiverr finalizes it and everything gets approved, this might actually be my highest earning month to date, which will be the 3rd time this year that we've broken my most earned money from freelance editing in a month, which is going to be super amazing if we do that. If not, still a fantastic month. So it does look like November is still going to be seeing steady work, which is great because I've never had a November that did well, which makes sense. Like we're in holiday season, we're in the Burr months, so everyone's kind of slowing down, they're working. slowing down on working, and then they're also saving up money for the holidays, food, gifts, things like that. So it just makes sense that December is definitely going to be slower, and I anticipated that, which is also where this new part-time job is going to come in to kind of help supplement it. But also it is going to be a physical job, so I'm going back to warehousing, which is, for those who don't know, I did that for 7 years when I was getting my own medical stuff done, because the best insurance I've ever had was when I had a warehouse job. So we're going back to that. And it'll be a physical job. I'll be moving, but I won't be using any mental energy, and I won't be using any social energy. So I'll still be able to perform my freelancing duties to the highest ability that I can. And I think that it'll be just enough to get out in the real world again, that I'm going to have maybe some more inspiration for just random characters in my books. But what I need to do is set up a publication date for Cemetery Book, and then set up a publishing timeline, which I think I need to sit down and work. I can actually do that in a video if you guys want, but just kind of sit down and really plan out, because whenever I did that with my poetry came out. There was no issue. This one kind of came out of left field a little bit, but it also was something that I'd kind of been toying around with for a while. Okay, see that yawn? The video I filmed last week, there was like 20 of those. It was a snooze fest. You would have fallen asleep. So I might do that. I might go ahead and make like a publishing timeline for 2026 or publishing goals. Because for me, my goal video would just be the publishing part, but the publishing timeline would be a little bit more in-depth. I wouldn't talk about that in that video. So I might do that. I still need to talk about that onboarding I went through with Fiverr Pro. I looked up the script for it recently, and the script is so old. It said last week I did this. That was like almost 2 months ago. No, well, it was like the second week of September when I did that. So it's been a hot minute. And then I am filming this on October 23rd. So depending on when this goes out, November 7th is when this goes up. It is hardcover only for the time being, so there's no pre-order just yet. And I'm trying to think of what else I might want to update you guys on. I definitely want to talk about my earnings in some way at the end of the year as well. The Cemetery Book, the way I had planned it, I was going to take 3 months to write it, which would have been less than 30,000 words a month, which was doable up until the end of, actually, not even the end of August. It was like the second week of September, everything went downhill. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is plan that to be done. I don't know if I can finish it by the end of November. I genuinely don't, unless I start doing 2,000 words a day, which is just going to take some hardcore dedication. I used to write that 5-6 days a week, so it's not really the effort of it, but just with everything going on, like taking that amount of time out for myself. Like right now I'm filming this video because he's inside asleep, because he can't sleep for more than 3 hours without waking up in pain. So it's just finding little moments like that so that I can work on this. But also I want to work on it, which is helpful. But also this is kind of priority, and I need to sit down and work on this stupid freaking prose poetry piece, get it cleaned up, and then this is done. I don't have to think about this anymore. I made like 10 Instagram marketing things for this, but because I'm shifting from poetry into fiction, I don't think I'm going to market too much of my poetry from here on out. And I already know that the Cemetery Book is going to be published under a pen name. I'll share it on here. It's not a secret. I just want to separate the poetry from the fiction. And then I'm thinking, if I do that, I might as well make a whole new Instagram account for that one. And that way I can tailor it to urban fantasy readers and not other poets. Because that was also my problem. I was trying to build a poetry community, not just find readers. So my Instagram failed in that regard. So like my YouTube is here for community, and then eventually, hopefully I can make money from it. But I'm not necessarily on here to find readers, which is why when I promote shorts, it's usually when like a new album drops that I know is going to get a lot of hits on it, or just a new book comes out, but I don't really market that. So I want to try to make an Instagram account and probably a Facebook account so that I can market the heck out of this upcoming book and establish myself as an urban fantasy writer, because that's definitely something I can continuously write in. Because if I write anything else, it would just be contemporary anyway, and I think those blend pretty well. So I could like publish that under the same name and that'd be fine. But I think that's it. I think I have a plan. Priority is this. Probably try to knock this up today. Get 2 projects done tomorrow for my clients, and then try to work on, is that a motorcycle? Had to be a motorcycle. Just start working on cemetery book. Just got to get that done. And it's the end of October. This whole month I'm working on something called the cemetery book, and I've written maybe 500 words this month. So we're gonna dive into that. Yeah, that's what we need to do. That's what we need to do. Okay, we have a plan. We have a plan in motion. I swear, just talking to myself is the best way for me to plan. Is anybody else like that? Is it just me? Okay. Thank you guys for joining me. I should be back to regular uploads and updates after this. If you want to know more about the selected poems, there will be posts going up about it all throughout November. And then I will probably be quiet about it because we need to shift into a different style and marketing. And we also need to figure out when I'm going to create this new Instagram account, because how early do I want to post before the book comes out? There's a lot to think about. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I will update you more with my scattered ideas when they're not quite so scattered. And I think I'm not even looking at the camera. I'm so sorry. I'm outside. I'm staring at this tree because the leaves are rustling, and that's what I'm looking at. I'm so sorry. I have not looked at you like half this time. Thank you guys for watching. As I mentioned, if you like, subscribe, share, clicky button thingies down below. Who's been here since we used to say rate and subscribe? Because I'm that YouTube old. Rating. Wasn't liking, you rated it. Oh my gosh, I miss those days. Just because it was fun to say that. But I will see you guys next time. Bye.
There was once a